Strat-O-Matic Excel Carryover League. Brought to you by the Shrimp Troll.
(1973 to 1976). Welcome back, baseball fans, to 1973-76 Carryover League. We are back in the American League East today with the best of 7 series between the Baltimore Orioles and the New York Yankees. Today, live from Yankee Stadium. I'll just go right into what's happened. Game 1 opens up in Baltimore. Mel Stottlemyre versus Jim Palmer. Low scoring early. In the 3rd inning, the Orioles' top 4 hitters get 3 walks and an error to the pitcher in there to get an unearned run. 1-0. But the Yankees get the Palmer in the 6th. A double by Chambliss, a single by Roy White and a stolen base, a double by Bobby Mercer, a walk and a 2-out single by Elliot Maddox. 3-1. Hold on there, Yanks. Orioles rebound to the bottom of the 7th off of Stottlemyre. It's a single by Belanger, a fielder's choice. Bill Sharp, free agent, 2-run dinger. Single walk, an error on second base from Willie Randolph, and a 2-run single. 4 runs, it's 5-3. And you're thinking, 2 innings left? Palmer should be able to finish this. He can't. Top of the 8th, back-to-back doubles, and Palmer's gone with a 1-run lead. Reliever Tippy Martinez gets the lefty Bobby Mercer out, but the next lefty, Greg Nettles, gets a single to tie the game. It goes to long men as this thing gets to extra innings. Dyer Miller goes 2 2/3, and Dick Tidrow goes 3 innings scoreless. Top of the 11th with a runner at second base, an error by Lee May puts him on the corners, and with 2 outs, it's a 2-run single by Thurman Munson. That's a 2-run lead. Sparkle gets an uneventful 11th inning, 3 up and 3 down. The Yankees win 7-5 in 11 innings. Dick Tidrow gets the win, 3 innings, 2 hits and 2 strikeouts. And Grant Jackson takes the loss. The 2 runs, only 1 was earned in the top of the 11th inning. So a road win, and Yankees now have home field advantage. Game 2, it's a battle of lefties. It's Claude Osteen, Mike Cuellar. Again, Baltimore gets an early lead in the 3rd on an RBI single by Paul Blair. Then in the 6th inning, Claude Osteen hangs a couple. Paul Blair solo shot, Brooks Robinson solo shot, 3-zip. In the 8th inning, the Yankees finally scratch in a run, a walk double, and a RBI ground out. Make it 3-1. Grant Jackson gets the save of the 9th. Nice day for Cuellar, 7 2/3, 5 hits, a run, beating Osteen. The series is tied a game apiece. Then we go to Yankee Stadium. And at Yankee Stadium, what we notice is Doc Medich will be pitching Game 3 for the Yankees, and Lenny McDaniel will be pitching Game 4. Something consistent about each is righties. They dominate right-handed batters. And Baltimore has mostly right-handed batters, and the only lefties they have are Bunbury, Singleton, Bill Sharp, and Johnny Edwards. I'll get through this quickly, folks. Orioles didn't score. Yankees get 3 runs. One of those is a Gene Locklear home run. 3-0 shutout for Doc Medich, 5-hitter, 2 walks, 6 Ks, beating Wayne Garland. Baltimore needs to get some offense. It's been a constant hindrance to their success throughout the Carryover League timelines, even with World Series titles. Orioles have won World Series hitting .238 mysteriously. I just don't get it. They're not that bad, but they hit worse than their strat cards go through most of the Carryover League, even though they have some championships to show for it. Game 4, Yankees win 7-1. It was 7-zip, and the Orioles finally get a run in Yankee Stadium. It took them the 8th inning of the second game to do it. Lenny McDaniel, 7 1/3, 6 hits, that 1 run. Fred Sherman finishes it up. Rorik Harrison, he was okay. 4 2/3, 7 hits, 1 run, 5 walks, 4 strikeouts. And the Yankees have a 3-1 series lead. And folks, the American League East is up for grabs. Yeah, early in the season, the Orioles were coming out hot. They started 5-1. Since then, they've played 6-8 and are tied with the Red Sox, with the Blue Jays and Yankees right there. This thing is just pull them out of a hat, folks. Whoever gets hot in the final series before the All-Star break and the postseason tournament will probably win this division. More than likely, no wild card will emerge from here. Though maybe I shouldn't be saying that, because the whole American League is mediocrity. Expos are playing good baseball, 6-19 ball. They're a National League squad, traditionally. Twins did a nice job beating the White Sox 4-3. They're playing decent ball. And, of course, the West is a joke because even Oakland's slumping. Oakland will figure itself out, I'm pretty sure. But today, it's back to Yankee Stadium for a Game 5. Could the Yankees knock the Orioles out of first place and put themselves just one game behind the Red Sox at that point, who'd be in first? Because you got the Red Sox with a World Series appearance in 75, Yankees with a World Series appearance in 76. Red Sox a little bit roster-wise closer to looking like that. The Yankees still have plenty of guys missing, including, well, Reggie Jackson, Rich Gossage, and others. Game 5 is the same as Game 1. It's going to be Jim Palmer for the Orioles. 23-game winner in 75 with a Cy Young Award. 2.09 ERA, 323 innings for Jim. Having a nice year. He's like 4-1. And Mel Stottlemyre for the Yankees. 16-game winner in 73. 3.07 ERA and 273 innings. We'll call this the last good Stottlemyre year. They'll need an ace next year. Maybe it'll be some youngster named Ron Guidry. Another guy I just remembered from that who's missing. They did add Willie Randolph to this team this year. Let's get started from the Bronx. Baltimore needs to wake up. They started hot and they fell asleep at the wheel, and all that early success is long forgotten. And now Mark Belanger is leading off. That's how bad it's gotten in Baltimore, because he hit 270 in 1976. 2-4 flies to center. Al Bumbry, 68, is a base hit. Ace stealer, but you got Munson with a -3 arm. Baltimore's not still in the base all series. Kenny Singleton, 48, double 1-3 off Stottlemyre's a double. Second and third, finally the Orioles are cooking early. It'll be Bobby Grich, was leading off. Now he's batting cleanup. That's how quickly the Orioles will just shuffle things, trying to find some kind of spark. 32 for Grich is a ground out to short. A run will score. Runner second, 2 outs, and it's Lee May, the big bopper. 35, let's take a look at Lee May's card of 1973. He was still an Astro with this card, but Baltimore pursued him sooner to get a little bit more production than when he shows up, I believe, in 75. So they have him now with 28 home runs and a 270 average. 3-5 for Lee May, triple 1-4 double. It's a 2-base hit, and the Orioles have doubled their run total in the Bronx in 1 inning. Now it's number 6 hitter Bill Sharp. 57 pops the second. 2-0, bottom of the first, Willie Randolph. 59 second. Roy White, 46, base hit. Bobby Mercer, 48 off Palmer's K. And with 2 outs, Greg Nettles, 58. It's a pop to second base. Top of 2, it's Paul L.D. Blair, 5'10", center X. I have no idea what the L.D. stands for, but I saw that on the back of a baseball card a long time ago. Mercer collects the ball in center field, 1 out. Brooks Robinson, 34, pops to short. And number 9 hitter, platoon catcher John Edwards, 112, fouls out to the catcher. Bottom of 2, Elliot Maddox, 2-9, rolls a short. Gene Locklear, 1-7's a base hit. Munson bats 7 versus righties. 2-8 is a 6-4-3 double play. There's quite a disparity with Munson, lefty versus righties. Really hits lefties well. Righties, he's like a 250 hitter. Top of the third. Back up top for Baltimore, Mark Belanger. 1-6, triple one, single dot dot, and Belanger's on. A Steeler. Bumbry. 67 off Stoudemire, single one 18. Oh, he barely gets it on a 17. 2 on for Ken Singleton. 2-3 is a 1-6-3 double play. Belanger goes to third, 2 outs. Bobby Grich. He walks. Runners on the corners. Lee May. 57 is a pop to short, and that's Baltimore. That's the Orioles, folks. They got a 2-0 lead. This is like getting 10 runs for most teams. Chris Chambliss, 47, single one to 7. He gets it. Stick Michael, 68, lines the third. Willie Randolph, 4-4 off Palmer. Homer 1 to 12. If you have power, he doesn't. So it's a single. Runners on the corners for Roy White. I got to bring it up for the A-bunter. 4-11. Left X out in left field is Bill Sharp, a 2E5. That's why Baltimore got him, but unfortunately he can't make the catch. Single dot dot, it's 2-1. Randolph's at third as the tie run. Infield will come up and hold for Bobby Mercer. 38 is a single dot, and the Yanks tie it up. First and second, playing back 1 out, Greg Nettles. 55, short X, Belanger 1E14. Should be a double play, and it is. 2-2. Into the fourth. It's Bill Sharp. From Sharp Minds comes double 1 to 3. Single off the Stoudemire card. Paul Blair. 59. Sky's the center. Brooks Robinson, 38, is a 5-4-3 double play. You know one thing I can always count on the Orioles? A quick game. Elliot Maddox, 1-6, double 1 to 13. It's 2-base hit. Gene Locklear, catcher's X. Edwards is a 3E5. All I need to get is a... oh, they don't get the pass ball. It's a foul out. So he's stuck at second base with 1 out. Thurman Munson, 47. Single 1 to 13. Can't get it on a 15. And with 2 outs, Chris Chambliss. Second X. Bobby Grich is a 1E20. Makes the play. That's a wasted opportunity to pick up a run on Palmer. It didn't happen. Top of the fifth. John Edwards. 58 pops to short. Belanger, 2-7 is single 1 to 9. He gets a hit. He's 2 for 3. Al Bumbry, 59 flies the center with 2 outs. Ken Singleton, 47 second X. Randolph's a 2E24, and he makes the play. Bottom of the fifth of a 2-2 affair. Let's pause a moment for station identification.
This is the Shrimp Trawler video channel.
Este es el canal de videos de camaroneros.
Okay. It'll be Gene Michael leading off. 65 flies to center. Back up top to Randolph. 66 flies to right. And Roy White, 34, a comebacker to the mound. 2-2 into the sixth. It's going to be Bobby Grich. 310 flies to center. Lee May, 2-7 is a K. And Bill Sharp, 312, fly ball to center B, plus an injury. Nice. So Bumbry will go out and left. And let's get a bat in here. Let's get Earl Williams to come in. And yeah, and Edwards goes to DH. Okay. Bottom of the sixth. Bobby Mercer, 66, pops to first. Greg Nettles, 44 off Palmer's. Homer 1 to 3 gets a 2-base hit. Yankees had the lead run at second base for Elliot Maddox. 110, let's take a look at this guy. Elliot Maddox. He had a really nice 1974 top 10 MVP votes. Look it up, folks. Look it up. You're talking about a 1-3 in center field who could also play second and third at a pinch, who walks a ton and hit 303. So, you know, in a year where there wasn't a lot of great offense, apparently, for the MVP vote, Maddox snuck into the top 10. 110's a base hit to right field. Nettles against the +2 arm. He's gonna run, and he scores on a 1. Yanks take a lead. Gene Locklear, 43 off Palmer. First X, it's Mr. Lee May, a 3E10 at first. And he kicks the grounder. Oh, boy. First and second for Munson. 67 is a K, and with 2 outs, it's Chris Chambliss. 66, a pop out. Baltimore in imminent danger of falling, the little birds falling off the branch, falling off their perch in the American League East with a wretched offense. 2 runs in the first inning almost seemed like a mistake. And they've scored only 1 other run in the Bronx in three days. 3-2 top of the 7th. Palmer's a starter 9. Stottlemyre is a starter 8. Both have brilliant lefty closers, Grant Jackson and Sparky Lyle. In the 7th, it'll be Paul Blair. 37 is a K. Brooks Robinson, 211, he pops out. And Johnny Edwards, 33, he grounds out to first. Stretch time here in the Bronx. We are enjoying the dulcet tones of Paul Desmond, 1968, the Summertime LP on A&M Records. He does some covers here, the Beatles, he does Autumn Leaves, Someday My Prince Will Come, some other stuff like this. The member of the Brubeck Four, Paul Desmond. Let's get back to the game. Bottom of the 7th, 3-2. Palmer will continue. It'll be Stick Michael. 43, first X, Lee May. Now he surrenders a single. He is having a great time over there at first for Baltimore. Willie Randolph, 1-5, is a 5-for-3 double play. And with 2 outs, Roy White, 43, first X again. Another error for Lee May. That's 2 errors and a single in the last 5 batters. And Bobby Mercer, 58, pops to second. And they go to the dugout, and Palmer looks over to the first sacker. With some words being exchanged. 3-2 in the 8th. Stottlemyre. Do you want to play it? He hits the point of weakness, then he goes, or do you want to play it where he can't lose the game, 1 batter, and he goes? As feeble as Baltimore is, Bunbury and Singleton are the only significant threats in this lineup against right-handed pitching. So if Belanger reaches, I think we might go hook here, find somebody else. So Belanger will lead off. 1-7 and Belanger. Let's take a look at the card because dude's 2 for 3 today. Well, he's 3 for 4 now. If you're wondering what year Belanger went to the All-Star game in Philadelphia, it was 1976. He hit 270. He was near 300 before the All-Star break. Then he started to cool down a little bit. It was quite a story. And what's really great about this particular 270 is most of it comes against righties. That's what you want. And you don't mind. I mean, the left side looks like a regular Belanger card, or better than a regular Belanger card that hits about 200. But he's still the ace stealer, 16 base runner, and an A bunter. I mean, what's not to like? He's everything Baltimore could want on a potential playoff team. 1-7 is a base hit. Munson, though, -3. They haven't even tried him, and I don't think they're going to start now. What you could do, though, with Baltimore is there's a mound visit. If they actually hook Stottlemyre, you could leave Bunbury in a hit and run. That's one of the talking points with the Yankees. And Singleton's a switch hitter, so you're losing an effectiveness of bringing a lefty like Fred Sherman into the game. Let's play it as if you got to break Stottlemyre to get him out of there. So that's what they're going to do. With Belanger stuck at first, with fearing Munson, Al Bunbury will swing away. Here's the pitch to Al Bunbury. 63, first C. That moves the runner up for Ken Singleton. 65, lines to third, and with 2 outs, fans are on their feet. They want to see Stottlemyre get through at least 8. It's Bobby Grich. 37, Bobby Grich. Let's take a look at his card. The righty-righty matchup Stottlemyre really wanted didn't work here. In 74, Bobby Grich had 19 homers, 90 walks, 29 doubles, a 263 average, B stealer. Oh, by the way, he's a 1 at second. Hey, he's a 3 at short. So back in 74, at least, if you were concerned with Belanger's lame bat from that year, not the present year, you could have Gritch at shortstop. Of course, you wouldn't have Davy Johnson at second anymore, but in any event, double 128, that's an RBI single, and we're all tied up. You know, if Baltimore could get a win or two in this series, that could put them back in first. They wouldn't have to win the entire series, just to force it to 6 or 7 games might be the key. All right, Gritch is at first with Lee May at the plate. Do you try a stolen base just to do it? Put a guy in scoring position now that you've tied the game? Bobby Gritch? Sure, let's take off for second base. And he's down. He's out. There's that. Okay. Cut down stealing. No big deal. 3-3 game, bottom of the 8th. Palmer will continue. It'll be Greg Nettles. 49 is second X. Bobby Gritch, a 1E20 at second. Makes the play. Elliot Maddox, 47. Single 1 to 13. Cannot get it on a 16. And with 2 outs, it's Locklear, 63. Second X, your second baseman is Bobby Gritch. Yes, a 1E20. Just said that. And another ground ball to him. Okay. 9th inning. And I think the Yankees are going to play this as if we got to win this game. We got to bury the Orioles 4-1 if possible. So we're going to pull Stottlemyre as he was 2 batters into breaking in a tie game. He has nothing, you know. So they're going to go Sparky Lyle. And remember, he's a relief. Oh, he's just a relief 2. I thought he was a relief 3. He's a relief 2. So he's good for the 9th and 10th inning. Let's get the lefty in there now. Sparky Lyle will come on in the 9th. Sparky, in a 3-3 tie, 9-3 with a .166 ERA and 114 innings in 1974 for the Yankees. And he will face, in the 9th, Lee May. 3-10 is a walk. Now you got Earl Williams. 1-5 flies the center. Now you got Paul Blair. 37 is single 1 to 5. Collects the hit on a 1. Big break for the Orioles. They have first and second, 1 out, and Brooks Robinson. Let's take a look at Brooks before he swings. He hits .288 in 1974. Easily the best batting average of the 1970s for Brooks, though most of that comes against left-handed pitching, which bodes well for this scenario. First and second, 1 out. They're going to play back for Brooks Robinson double play of the Yankees. Here's your pitch to Brooks Robinson. 1-6, Brooksy, double 1-8. Tee down the Orioles. Take a lead in the 9th, 4-3. Brooks is at second and Blair's at third. Now you got Johnny Edwards. Batting for Johnny Edwards will be Doug DeCinces. The infield will come up for Doug DeCinces. Here's the pitch. 47 off of Lyle is single 1 to 15, and he gets it on a 10, and Sparky Lyle is blowing the game in the 9th. First and third, 1 out. The infield will come up for Belanger. Hey, this is a scenario where I often will squeeze. First and third, 1 out is the magic ticket, particularly if you're padding a lead. And if you're Belanger and you are worse against lefties than righties, we're going to do it. We haven't done a squeeze in a while. It's a squeeze for Belanger, the A-bunter. Up to 7 will be successful. It is an 8. And that's not going to work. An 8 squeeze is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. A 1-2. I guess they made the play at the plate. So it's a 1-2 out at the plate in that attempt. But we still have a runner in scoring position. The guy at first goes to second. Blander's at first. So you have first and second. And you have Bunbury, who has to bat. Or actually, you could have Sharon pinch hit for him. But it doesn't really matter. Bunbury's defense is worse than Singleton's. So Dick Sharon will bat. And that's the end of the Oriole bench, because he'll come in defensively for Al Bunbury. Here's the pitch to Dick Sharon. 111 is a fly ball to right. All right. 5-3 in the 9th. Palmer's the starter 9. Do you let him go all the way or do you go Grant Jackson? You got Munson, Chambliss, Stick Michael, Willie Randolph. I think Palmer's going to go through this. It'll be starter 9, Palmer. And here we are, Thurman Munson leading off. 48 is a walk. Not a good start. Chris Chambliss. 4-4 off of Palmer. Homer 1-3 to tie it is a double. And the Yankees have second and third. Now, you want to get Palmer off the hook for a loss? Stick Michael, Willie Randolph, Roy White. If we get to Mercer Nettles, it'll be a lefty. Prior to that, this is so silly. Prior to that, I think you got to break him. I think it's a Hall of Famer with a Cy Young card. You got to break him right here, and that'll get him out of the game. And that would qualify him for defeat. But that's what's going to happen. Second and third are going to play back because they have a 2-run lead. And here's the pitch to Stick Michael. 57's a K. Back up top to Willie Randolph. 38 is single 1-13, and he lines out on an 18. A terrible break for the Yankees. That would have broken Palmer, made it a 1-run game with a tie run in third. But instead, he misses single 1-13, and Palmer gets really lucky there. And with 2 outs, it's up to Roy White. Let's take a look at Roy. Really nice 74 with a 275 average, 67 walks. No clue what is going on in left field with Roy. He cannot get to balls or throw it when he collects it. He's a +3 arm in left field. But he's got a great on-base percentage with a 74 card, particularly against righties, which is what they need. You almost wouldn't even mind a walk versus a hit. And so here we are with Mercer on deck. You don't want a 2-run single to tie it because you have a lefty-lefty situation coming up on deck. So here we are, folks. Roy White, second and third, 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Roy White. 2-3 is a roller to third, and Baltimore somehow survives and collects a 5-3 victory in the Bronx. So Palmer gets the win in a complete game. Put men on base, got out of jams. Stottlemyre left with 8 quality, great innings, but it was the lefty, Sparky Lyle in the 9th, who was pretty flat and takes the defeat. So that means that Baltimore actually reclaims home field, trailing 3-2 in the series, but games 6 and 7 will be in Baltimore. After the break, we'll give you the results. Game 6, it'll be the lefties, Cuellar against Osteen, and Game 7, if there is one, it's Doc Medich for the Yankees versus Wayne Garland for Baltimore. We'll give you that at the end of the break, so stay tuned. All right, folks, here's the box score of Game 5 that you just saw. Baltimore wins 5-3. Palmer's complete game wasn't sparkling by any means. Gave up 11 hits, 3 runs, but just a walk and 3 Ks. Stottlemyre 8 innings, just a walk and 2 Ks. A lot of contact today, 9 hits and 3 runs allowed. But it was Sparky Lyle giving up the 2 runs in the 9th, and that's your story. Baltimore gets a win. They're still trailing 3-2 in the series. So we still have a lot to determine here in American League East. Let's find out what happens once we return to Baltimore for Game 6. Claude Osteen, Mike Cuellar in this one. Early fireworks for Baltimore. 4 singles in the first inning as a run. In the second inning, we get a Dick Sharon homer, and Bumbry, Singleton, and Grich combined for a run off of 2 walks and a single. 3-0 Birds. Fourth inning, a single by Sharon, an error, fielder's choice, 4-zip. But the Yankees with 1 swing in the 5th, 2 on, 2 outs. Fred Kendall, off-season acquisition, backup catcher to Munson. 3-run dinger, it's 4-3. Not much continues until the 8th when the Orioles add an insurance run to make it 5-3. They pull Cuellar after 8 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, but did walk 5, strike out 4, so that Grant Jackson could pitch the 9th inning. Not without some drama. A leadoff triple, a pop out, a walk, but then he struck out Bobby Mercer and Fred Kendall to end the game. And Baltimore, back-to-back 5-3 victories, road then home, series tied, 3 games apiece, and that means that Baltimore will stay in first place. Treading water, I'll bet, a little bit, maybe. Let's see what happens in Game 7. Well, it's Wayne Garland for Baltimore, Doc Medich for the Yankees. Last time these guys matched up, Medich threw a shutout. Top of the first, Yankees have it out for Garland. A White single, Mercer double, Nettles double, walk single, fielder's choice, 3-0. So in the first inning, Medich commits an error. No big deal. Second inning, after 2 outs, Medich commits another error. But after that, Baltimore explodes with offense. A Robinson walk, Johnny Edwards single, Paul Blair walks, and a base-clearing 3-run triple by Al Bunbury, 2-run homer Ken Singleton, 6 unearned runs after 2 outs after the second error in 2 innings by Doc Medich. Gotta field your position. Gotta field your position or you might accidentally give up 6 unearned runs. They got a 2-run homer by Johnny Edwards in the third. Baltimore with a 9-3, 9 unanswered runs after 3 runs in the first. Locklear is a homer that completes the scoring. Garland went 6. Dyer Miller pitched the final 3 for Baltimore. Medich's line, 5 2/3, 8 hits, 9 runs, 3 of them earned. Baltimore wins the 3rd straight after dropping 3 of the first 4. 9-4 is the final. Let's take a look at stats and standings. So Baltimore comes back, finding some offense. 5 runs, and 9 runs. 19 runs in 3 games. That's amazing for this team. So here are the numbers. At 14-9, Baltimore has one of the better records in the American League, which is not saying too terribly much. Yes, they are hitting .233 as a club. And it's not the first time. They've gone to the World Series with a .230 batting average in the past. Don't ask me why when the Cards all hit .260, 70 or better, but they've got a .298 earned run average. Offensively, we have nothing really to talk about, so we'll just talk about pitching. Palmer's 5-1. Grant Jackson's got 5 saves, but he has 2 losses. So had he not lost 2 games, Baltimore might be 16-7 and be one of the best teams in baseball. And for the New York Yankees, they had an opportunity to claw out of last place and turn into some semblance of the 76 Yankees. But they're looking more and more like the renovation Yankees of the, Shea Stadium Yankees of 74, while the stadium was being worked on. The Bobby Bonds era, without Bobby Bonds present. Which is a shame, because they're hitting .283 as a club. Team ERA is a little on the high side, 3.92. Sparky Lyle is 1-3 with 5 saves, but his ERA is 7-8 runs a game. Pretty bad. Starting pitchers, Stottlemyre's 1-3. Medich 2-3, 2-2. Nobody's got a winning record in this Yankee pitching staff. Greg Nettles has 4 home runs, but he led the American League in that category in 1976, so that's not very good. He's 18 for 94. That's not very good. Mercer is having another Bobby Mercer year. Give the dude credit. Bobby Mercer, that brilliant 71 card, 72 card, now 73 card. He is always hit for me in Strat-O-Matic. I don't ever recall him Bobby Mercer slumping. This is 5 years in a row of him, 6 years in a row, I think. Totally on fire, hitting .330. We got a nice start for Elliot Maddox. Talked about him being top 10 MVP voting in 74. He's 32 for 90. And Chambliss is 30 for 92. So the bats are there for the Yankees, but the pitching. Let's look at net runs. They've scored 106, given up 114. Okay, that's a losing record. What about Baltimore? Baltimore scored 83 and given up 75. The 75 in 15 games is fantastic. But man, they had his razor thin margins. Orioles have gotten some big breaks. The 600 runs in Game 7, you know. Orioles are getting some breaks, even though they're hitting, and while they're getting some breaks, they're hitting terribly. It's hard to figure this franchise out. We have played 335 games at this point. Our league is hitting 265 with a 386 ERA. These are cold numbers. Cooled off, which is interesting. And the reason it is, I thought the offense would improve from a year ago. And the reasoning is the 1972 cards are removed, and that was a very low average year. It was a year of a pitcher. Bats were quiet. They introduced the designated hitter in 73, and the hitting took off. But it's not taking off in the carryover league, for better or for worse. And one last look at the standings in the American League. Baltimore is 5 over 500, as are the Expos. And everybody else is just a game or two over 500, or beneath 500, in a very mediocre American League. That's it tonight. Break up the Orioles. They defeat the Yankees 4-3, coming back from a 3-1 deficit. Thanks for checking this out, and we'll see you next time.